motherfuckers about ready. Get over here.
Get over here. Sub-Zero. I don't know if they remember that. Sub-Zero. That's back in the day.
Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Yep. Mortal Kombat.
Yes. Oh yeah, Scorpion. The chain used to come out of his hand or whatever. Or did he?
Yep. Fucking uppercut you into oblivion.
Hey, what's up, y'all, man? It's you know what day it is. It's Wednesday. It's 10 a.m. We're going for an hour straight. Me and my boy Kris Joe, we're back on. We're happy to be on again, man. So, yeah, 160, baby. You already know what that is. Am I right or wrong, Joe?
160, definitely right. You're right.
Yeah. Hey, let's shout out real quick, man. We'll get to it. Shout out Flintstone, our sponsor for the show. Flintstone, they bless us, baby. They've been blessing us the whole year. They've been supporting, and we appreciate you, Mike, for supporting us and sponsoring the show. And if you're around Walton Street, I think it's Walton Street, yeah. The same street as Galaxy, all you got to do is turn out that door. Depending on which way you're going, it might be to the right. Take a right and then take another quick right, and you're gonna see the doors with the big leaves on them, the big marijuana leaves. You open them up, and you're in pre-roll heaven. Shout out, Mike, man, Mike Flynn. We appreciate you, man. But Joe, it's a lot going on. I know the season's done with. Obviously, Cuse, they didn't accept the NIT bid. We'll get to that in a little bit. But first, let's talk about this portal news, man. We got a couple guys already jumping in the portal. Justin Taylor, Quadir Copeland, which is I guess a kind of surprise. I've heard there's going to be a few more that jumping in. I heard the name Hema. I heard the name Peter Carey. And then I also heard Chris Bell and Judah Mintz. And I don't know if Judah's going to jump in the portal or if he's going to
jump to the draft.
Put his name in the draft. But I mean, look, if those guys are going, then I guess I understand why we didn't accept the NIT bid, because you'd have fucking 4 players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
We'd be playing. It'd be like the 6th overtime game starting in the 6th overtime. You know what I'm saying? And just having,
Exactly. But Joe, it's funny because me, you, and our guy Mook, we were kind of talking about this a couple of nights ago, just about the portal and about just the whole landscape of college basketball, man. It's no loyalty, it's no anything like that, bro. You know what I mean? It's a whole different ball game. And at first, I'm for players getting paid. You know what I'm saying? I'm for that. You know what I'm saying? I think they deserve that. They're the product on the court, and they deserve 100%. To get some type of compensation. But man, dog, it just seemed like this shit get out of hand. Like a lot of shit, like with the portal and the NIL, you combined all that shit. College basketball doesn't feel the same to me. You know what I'm saying? And almost. It's talent out there. Don't get me wrong. It's some talented guys, but it just feels down to me. You know what I'm saying? With everything going on. Yeah, go ahead, Joe. Give me what do you think, man?
Just I agree. Could you still see me?
Yeah, I can see.
You see me? All right, bet, because there's some shit popped up on my screen. But anyway, I just feel like there's a certain sense of for coaches, always a certain feel of like. I don't want to call it anxiety, but just uncertainty, because whether a kid is happy or not, there's a possibility because of that transfer portal being so available for a kid to just leave at the end of each year. So we've mentioned it before. The tough thing is you're re-recruiting guys that are there on a yearly basis. Damn near maybe on a daily basis. You know what I mean? You got to tread very lightly, because one wrong conversation could lead a kid to be like, I guess I'm not feeling this as much as I was, just because they know that it's there for you. The transfer portal is there. So you come in as a coach, you probably feel uneasy, just knowing that possibility exists, that a kid could just up and leave as soon as he's not happy about something. And as a player, you know what I mean, if things aren't going your way, I'd say, yeah, it's good that the portal's there. So it's a double-edged sword, you know what I mean? But in the case that things are going well and you still want to leave because you believe, the grass is green on the other side, that's not always the case. You know what I mean? The NIL is one thing, but that portal, like you mentioned, is the thing that turned this whole college basketball landscape, you know, turned it real different than what I'm used to. You know, you want to build with us, with your, you know, you recruit guys one year thinking this is going to be my future, or, you know, my, whether it's immediate impact, or in a couple years we're going to be great with this core group of guys. And before you know it, that core group of guys could just be going to different schools, or they'll go somewhere together, or whatever the case is. So it's tough, man, as a coach and as a whole. And then as a player, you might go into the portal thinking you're going to land on your feet, and now you're at the D2 level because no one really, you know what I mean? So it's also the supporting cast that you have around you, your people who are providing you consultation to, you know, you got to have the right people in your corner, making sure that at the very least you're weighing all your pros and cons and not making emotional decisions, because that's what it comes down to as a kid. You know, 17, 18, 19 years old, most of your decisions are going to be based off of emotion, like immediate emotion. Something didn't happen today. I'm going to make a decision based on what happened today, not thinking tomorrow might be better. I'm going to make that decision right now. I'm emotional. I have a bit of an ego. You know, my pride was hurt maybe in certain situations, and now I'm going to enter the portal just because of a situation, instead of letting it, you know, let the storm pass and realize, like, you know what, this is just whatever the conversation might be, whether it's a learning, take it as a learning opportunity, take it as a, you know, constructive criticism, whatever it may be, bro. But I just think the emotions are so high in teenagers in general. And now you add in the fact that one little, you know, bad seed is planted. Oh shit, look, oh, you're not happy. We have this amount of money for you over here. You'll play this amount of minutes over here. And it just gets wild, man. It gets wild. So I don't really like it for those reasons. But if it's gonna benefit a kid in the end, then I'm all for it. You know what I mean? But you look at what's my boy name that went to Seton Hall?
Oh, Kadari.
Kadari. You know, he left for reasons outside of, I think that he didn't think that he fit in that queue. So I think there's some other reasons why he left. He just might maybe realize that, you know, maybe it is time for me to leave and, you know, go somewhere else. But he's had a solid time at Seton Hall. You know what I mean? Like, but he's one of the few that probably had some success as they transferred. You know, so it's tough, bro. You got to really weigh your options. I think you got to really lock in and make sure you got the right people in your corner asking the right questions and not just basing it all off of emotion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and bro, I think the negatives outweigh the positives a lot of the times now. You know what I mean? Because you have to have that option. I understand. You want to have that option to transfer, like if something's going on in your family and you want to get back closer to home. Or for me, like this is it. I would transfer if I'm not playing, I'm not getting any type of clock, right? If I'm not getting any type of time, like, and you're not finding a way to get in that rotation, okay, I understand. You want to be able to go to probably a smaller school or whatever it may be to be able to. Yeah, where you can, I get that, I understand that. Or and now he look at you see Kadari's stats at that, man. He balled out 6.6 rebounds, 5 or assists. I think that would have been Jordan, but 2 steals. He balled out. I think that's one of the guys that had success transfer, but early on he didn't have that success transfer. It took him time to build on, and I think he got to a spot where, all right, he was comfortable and he built on that. Like talking about Seton Hall, like he built on that. Like he didn't go to Seton Hall and like have a couple years struggling, and then be, all right, fuck it, I'm going to transfer again. Like you can't do that type of shit. You know what I mean? So I think like if you're not playing, if you're not getting any clock, right? And then if you have a really good season, like if you're just balling out, killing, right? And then you have an opportunity to go get a lot of NIL money in the landscape today, you probably want to look at leaving somewhere else, right? Like as far as, I don't know, if you had a max school, right, and you averaging 20 and you killing, now you have the opportunity to go to a high major and get some NIL. You probably want to look at leaving. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, if you're at a high major and you have a really good year and you have to leave, that's the university fault. They not getting into NIL money. That's them. That's them fucking up, because if you have a great year at a high major, there's no way you should have to leave. They should be able to have that NIL money. Like you should be able to have that. I know the smaller schools aren't going to be able to have that type of NIL money like the high major schools. And then Joe, another thing, if you're having like an okay year, you're having a solid year at a mid major or a high major. So like, okay, I'm going to use Quadir Copeland for example. He had a good year, and you could see the potential, right? 9 points, whatever, 5 rebounds. I don't know what his overall stats was, but he had a solid year. A year that, if you ask me, you can build on that. Going into the next year, you know he's going to be really good. But why the fuck would you transfer out if you just had a solid, okay year when you could build on that year? You know what I'm saying? And like you said, the grass isn't always greener, because now you go to a whole nother college, and now you got to fit into a whole nother system.
Yeah,
they don't know. You got to fit into a whole nother system, and the basketball part. But what about off the court? Like, you got to get comfortable there. You know what I'm saying? You got to do, like, I think these, like you said, Joe, and we did it too when we were younger. That's, of course, you know, we matured, we've grown. Like, you're making an emotional decision. You know what I'm saying? Like a decision off of like what happened. Oh fuck! He was yelling at me at practice, or we didn't go along. Right? Yeah. And I think, like, man, like a lot of times it's a crutch for these kids. You know what I'm saying? You using a crutch. Like the minute a motherfucker yell at you, or the minute you have a bad game or something go wrong, man, I'm going in the fucking portal. You know what I'm saying? Like how can you get used to working through challenges and working through adversity? You know what I'm saying? And this is for some life shit. Now, the only thing that you teaching yourself is that anytime something get hard, I'm fucking running away from it. I'm quitting. I'm starting over. I'm going to you'll never be able to build on some shit when you're doing that.
Because that's gonna be you in your everyday life too. You're gonna just turn away from every, roadblock, every little, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's difficult, you're not going to try to figure out a way over, around, through. You're going to just say, fuck it, I'm going to turn around. You know what I mean? So, facts.
And Joe, I'm not going to lie. It was times where young, freshman E or sophomore E, you go through some shit, Coach Boeheim saying some shit you don't like, and man, I'm out, man. I'm fucking transferred. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, we all had that go through our head. Excuse me. If we didn't, then we'd be lying. But we stuck it out. We continue to build on what we started. You know what I'm saying? We developed these relationships. Joe, if we transferred out right away, we couldn't be having this show. No. Nobody would be fucking with us like that. I couldn't come back to Cuse and do events. Like and
it's
again,
bigger. It's bigger.
It's bigger. That's the long-term thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, these kids are so like short-term thinking. Like, they don't understand about the long-term. And again, man, it's the age. Like, it's hard to think like that. You know what I'm saying? It's you're just thinking right now in this moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you're not thinking about how that decision will affect you down the road. You know what I'm saying? How many, Joe, all the people that transferred from Cuse, how many of them really had that much success, man? Besides Kadari, and it took him a few years to get that success. It's not like he transferred and had it right away. His first year, he averaged like 4 or some shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But then
you got Quincy, who just won the Big Ten, and he transferred for some reasons. Like, it wasn't because he was unhappy with some other things. At the end of the day, like he left after being all ACC. You see what I'm saying? So that he left for reasons that he just wasn't enjoying certain aspects of playing for coach at that given time. You know what I mean? Because he left, so you can't even really count him. It's not like he had a down year. He was up. He was all ACC. So Kadari,
he had 13 points and he almost averaged a double-double at Cuse.
Yeah. Yep. And so, shit, it's a great question.
I mean, you go back to like Ron Patterson, B.J. Johnson, and B.J. Johnson.
Oh, right.
He had success, but he transferred down. He went to LaSalle. Yep. And that was for him. Like, that was for him. Like, that was a situation where, like, he was smart. Like, all right, he wasn't getting the time at Cuse that he thought he should get. So transfer down to LaSalle, back at the crib by Philly. Yep. You know what I'm saying? He comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So, like, those situations I understand. But, man, these kids transferring just to fucking transfer.
Yeah.
Man, that shit,
Yeah.
Joe. I'm gonna tell you this, Joe, real quick. That's like, I guess I'm gonna compare it to like, so if I get in the crib, right, and I just moved in, you know what I'm saying? I got all my shit out. You know when you moving into a new crib or whatever apartment, that shit is fucking. You hate that shit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta fucking
Take a
set
little
everything
second to
back
get your
up.
feng shui right.
You know what I'm saying? So what the fuck? If I just move into a place 3 months ago and then I gotta fucking move again, I'm gonna be stressed the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I guess I'm comparing it, but it's like when you got to do all this
It's a good
moving, you got to
analogy.
do all this adjusting, and then getting used to a new university, new people, new teachers that you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? You got to transfer all your credits. Dude, it's a lot of shit that we're not thinking about that comes into play, man. And I just think it's the easy way out.
Yeah,
man, it's the easy way out.
No question. I believe too. And someone mentioned in the chat that kids are entitled, and I think that entitlement comes from the NIL as well, or knowing that it's out. Like I do believe it plays a part, because when I came into Cuse, bro, I don't think anyone, myself or anyone that I played with, ever felt entitled. I think we were all grateful for the opportunity to play on the big stage every night, ESPN, the Garden, whatever it was. There was no sense of entitlement from any of the teams that I played on while I was in Cuse. But I do see and I do feel that kids today, even at the high school level, feel very entitled for whatever reason. It might be a kid that's
For
not
what,
even,
Joe?
you're not
For
even,
what, though?
yeah, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. As I'm not no psychologist, no nothing, but as I observe these kids, bro, I think there's a sense of entitlement that they have, and I'm not sure what that is. Does that come from the fact that I'm now getting paid, so you really feel like a pro? Because I've seen that at the professional level. Yeah, you feel entitled because I'm making 20 million. I deserve this. I should do this. My seat on the plane should be here. My driver should be. It's all type of shit that you feel entitled to when you have that bread. Now, is it the NI? Is it the money? Even if it might be a shit ton, we're not talking millions, but at 19, 18, 17, whatever it is, bro, even if you get 15,000, 20,000, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money at that age. You know what I mean? When you have no bills, your mom's still paying your phone bill, probably. You know what I'm saying? You living on campus for free. You got 20,000 free dollars just to do whatever you want to do with, bro. That's a lot of money for a college student.
I done went crazy.
So even if it is that, and you know that guys are making much more than that in certain spots. So maybe it's that. Maybe the fact that they get a little bit of a couple of dollars, they feel like, man, listen, and it comes from that kind of creates a fake ass hierarchy amongst themselves. Like, man, I'm making 30,000, bro, NIL. Like, I'm not on that. Like, nah, like we not. So it's tough, bro, for a coach to navigate all that. Already it's hard enough to navigate feelings as a coach with no money involved. You got, fuck, I got to coach him this way, him that way, him that way. You know what I'm saying? I got to pat him on the back. I got to kick him in the butt. Like, so it's different ways of coaching each kid. Now you throw that money in there. Oh, shit. I don't know what's going on.
You know what I'm saying? Joe, I tell you this. No, so look, and real quick, I respect the kids, and I'm going back to, I think it was the Michigan football team, Blake Corum, like with his NIL money. That motherfucker was buying shit for people, handing out free shoes, and like doing events, like handing out food. Like that's the type of shit. Like when you see a kid at that age doing that, you like, man, that's some real shit. Because like if you getting that type of NIL money, you're probably gonna be able to go play professionally somewhere.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? If you getting over six figures for NIL, you must be the man. You know what I'm saying? If you get anywhere close to 6 figures or $1 million, because I'm not wasting 6 figures on a motherfucker who's 6th, 7th man, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I'm not fucking. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Unless like Texas, I know they had a guy who just gave everybody on the team 75,000 or some shit like that. But like when kids are able to take that NIL money and do something good with it, instead of just going buy fucking clothes and shit. And I'll tell you this, you go buy some fucking clothes and do it, you wasting your fucking money, man. Now, as I get older, man, I'm wearing sweatpants and a fucking hoodie every day, man. If I got to go to an event, If I got to go to an event, I'm gonna get suited up and do all that. But man, these motherfucking kids wasting money on shit that they gonna be able to wear for like a year or some shit. You know what I mean? Like so when I seen Blake Corum do that
They
at
gotta go
Michigan,
through
when I
that
seen
though. Yep.
yeah, you're right, Joe. I'm just I'm speaking from
I know.
from a
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Different.
but
Yeah,
you
for sure.
yeah, a whole different mindset. Because back in the day, I probably would have been on the same shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I know too, Joe, what's fucking these kids up about the entitlement that we talked about is these grown motherfuckers. I'm talking about the grown motherfuckers who running AAU programs, who doing all the all-star games. Like back when I was in high school, bro, it was two games, bro, maybe three that really. You know what I'm
McDonald's
saying?
and
It
Jordan.
wasn't McDonald's, the Round Ball Classic
Round
with
ball
Sonny
classic.
Vaccaro. And then
Yeah.
they had the Jordan Classic in DC. Those were like the three big ones. And same shit with the camps. Like you had Nike and you had ABCD. And that was
Yep.
it, yo. You know what I'm saying? And you either went to one or the other, like depending on what circuit you usually played on. But those were the top players in the country, regardless of class. Now you got motherfuckers doing like all type of fucking games, and that's for the bread. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You might, Joe, you might be a top 500 motherfucker. You getting invited to guess what, Ma? I got invited to All American camp. Man, you shitty as fuck, and you gotta pay. How the fuck you gotta pay to go into an All American game, dog? You got
Yeah.
but you're invited, but you gotta pay $250. Man, get the fuck out of here,
Shit
dog.
crazy.
So like
Yeah.
that's and that's with the camps too.
That's all
Like
for
I know,
visuals.
bro.
They want to see kids want that started control. But like you said, I'm gonna go to that All-Star game and I'm gonna post it on social media so that I could show motherfuckers that I was in so and so All-Star game, bro. So it's so many things that tie into the mindset of a kid today. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty wild, man. It's wild. Kids don't
And
have
then
that
they
attention
go.
span. Like they don't want to do that shit no more, bro. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's crazy.
And Joe, then when you get done with the game, after you had 2 points, you know what I'm saying? You got 2 points and 3 rebounds. The motherfucker gonna come up to you, hey, you want to buy a highlight tape for $100? Man, what the fuck highlight do I got? What fucking highlight do
They
I
gonna show
got?
the same shit from 15 angles. You know what I mean? Shit crazy.
But that's the entitlement. Like, dog, I literally seen. This social media shit is it's just unbelievable, dog. Like it's obviously it's pros and cons, but for me it's more cons, right? It give
Yeah.
everybody a chance to really like make them feel like they're good or they got a chance. I see some kids, hey, can I go D1? Can you what? Can you go D1?
Yeah.
Man, hold the fuck on, man. What are your parents telling you, dog? You
First of
practice
all,
twice a
yeah.
week by yourself. You practice twice a week by yourself, man. This got to be an obsession to even. I feel disrespected, like for real, because I'm looking back all the time that I put in when I was growing up, and then you asking me, can you go D1 after doing it a couple times a week, and you just
Yeah.
going to practice, bro. I ain't got nothing to say to you, man.
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing to say to you. You know,
I feel that.
this shit is unbelievable, yo. You know what I'm saying? And then Joe, you see it because more so now because you're in the coaching world. You know what I'm saying? And you talk. I know the rules are maybe a little bit different in Canada or whatever, but overall it's the same shit. Like all these kids
No, you
are
talk to
dealing with the
kids,
social media.
100%. You see kids who, I mean, I guess also what we deal with here is the dream of going to play Division I basketball is a lot. Like I feel like in the U.S. it's not as far fetched as it is coming from Montreal or somewhere else in Canada. So some guys are hanging on to that dream of wanting to play, but it's like, bro, you're not. You. But again, the disrespect is you're really not good enough to go play Division I basketball. Like you don't understand what it means to, you know, to play at that level and how good you have to be on a day-to-day basis and what it takes, the sacrifices it takes. You're not ready to make those sacrifices, bro. But I feel you 100%. The delusion comes from friends and family, aunts and uncles, your coach who's not shooting it too straight, and then social media because you know what I'm saying, and all the likes and this like that gives you validation. Like, oh, I posted this highlight, I got X amount of likes on it. Shit, it might be fucking with it. Like, I must be all right. You know, so it's a different time, bro.
And Joe, you know what though, bro? All these like trainers or whatever, like they're fucked up, dude, because right when a motherfucker go commit to Saline Community College or some shit, they're posting it on their shit. They're posting it on their shit like, hey, you know, I got a kid, you know, come train with me. I got this kid to go to a community college or some shit. And you don't know what man, I see that shit so many times, man. Like, you fucking this kid up because you want to try to build your shit. And you ain't even playing no high level shit.
Facts.
You never played in no high level shit. You were the MVP of your rec league. You know what I'm saying? In the community center YMCA league, you're the MVP. Yeah, you might have played, bro. I don't care where you play college ball at, man. There's motherfuckers who play college ball who got there for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? I'm not disrespecting you or whatever, but it's motherfuckers there who ain't good like that. When you talking about guys like yourself and me, bro, we've experienced the highest level of basketball, and you got there. You was in the NBA. I didn't get to the NBA, but I played against those dudes all the time in the summer. You know what I'm saying? And I know my skill level was up there, but these other dudes, you can't even speak from that because you haven't even been in it. The closest shit you got to is 2K. You playing the game like
my
that.
Player. You create yourself.
My player. So, man, like, so that's where the entitlement comes from a lot of these times, bro. Like, these dudes feeding that shit in their mind because they trying to build up their shit. You know what I mean? And I saw something in the chat real quick. What was it? King Joseph Edwards, who I think he committed to Syracuse football. But Tom, you're right, man. I've been seeing a lot of his stuff on Twitter, and all his NIL money, bro. I don't know about all of it, but he puts it into charity events. Like, he bought all Nike bags for the women's basketball team. Like, I saw him doing a bunch of different events back in his hometown and in Cuse. Like, bro, that's what you got to do. Like, and again, like, it's nowadays, like, for a kid to do that, man, that's rare, bro. Kids ain't really doing that. Man, he was raised. Shout out to King Joseph Edwards, like his fam, like, yeah, man, they did a great job with that young man because, you know what I'm saying, he coming on and he got the right mindset and he gonna be blessed because he continued to bless others. You know what I'm saying? That's just how that shit worked, you know. But yeah, man, that shit. Talk to me, Joe.
We here, right? We half an hour in. We done spoke about all the real shit we need to speak about. I want to dive in a little bit deeper to pause. Just the, just what you think of, just the guys who are transferred. Like, if we lock in just for a little couple minutes, and obviously I want to interact with the chat as well, just on the thoughts of, Justin Taylor, entering the portal. Did that come as a shock to you?
We didn't say Justin Taylor, did we? Did we say that?
I think, yeah, you think you did. You said, I think that's what you started with. Yeah, right. Justin Taylor, you did, yeah.
Okay.
Just your thoughts on that and how, did that come as a surprise to you? Were you kind of expecting it throughout the year or, and then I'll tell you how I felt about it.
No, I mean, it didn't come to a surprise to me. Just like we were talking about at the beginning, I think if you're really struggling and if you're not having a good year, but again, I don't know, Joe, he did start. You know what I'm saying? He was starting. It wasn't like he wasn't getting any playing time. I mean, again, like, when you transferring, are you taking responsibility for how you played, or are you just blaming the coaching staff? Because I think he had all the opportunity in the world, bro. Like, to be able to show what he could do. He wasn't able to do it for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? He got in a funk. He didn't play good, man. Like, he showed times where he could play what he's capable of, but bro, he came in as a shooter, I believe, and he couldn't shoot. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you're coming in as a shooter and you can't shoot. I mean, I don't know what you want me to, like, he has the physical abilities. Like, he's 6'5", he has this really strong body. At the end of the day, bro, he lost confidence in himself.
Yeah.
You can't blame the coaching staff. Look, the coaching staff job, and I wasn't in there. I can't tell you what was said and what was being done. But their job is to be able to try to feed him that confidence back. Try to give him them opportunities where he could get his confidence back. it's not like they benched him. They didn't bench him. You know what I'm saying? He was in the starting lineup. Like, if they would have benched him, maybe that would have been like, boom, he really done. You know what I'm saying? But they kept him out there. They kept giving him the opportunity to be able to get better, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think kids got to look at themselves, man. They got to be responsible. Like, look, I fucked up. I didn't have a good year. I wasn't shooting the ball well. I need to get in the fucking gym. I need to get in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not Coach Red fault. It's not G Mac Griff or my man. You know what I'm saying? It's me. You know what I'm saying? I got to get in the gym and work my ass off. And again, I'm not saying, I don't know, in depth, maybe with some other shit going on, but dog, I'm staying. I'm staying and I'm working through that shit. You know what I'm saying? And trying to get to where I be. Because again, now I go. Because if he transfers, Joe, or he is transferring, you got to go lower, bro. You got to go lower.
You think this level was a little bit too much for him? Anything in the power in them power fives is a little bit too much.
Bro, I don't want to. I'm not disrespecting nobody. You know what I'm saying? But I know one thing. I'm gonna keep it 100 all the time. He ain't look like a Syracuse guy.
Right.
Bro, if you go back to all the teams that we played on, and I don't want to compare eras or players to that, he wouldn't have got it. No tick with us. First, you know what I'm saying? First of all, it's up here. It's your mindset and your approach. Like, man, I had all dogs around me. So if you go into practice with your head down and doing that shit, they're gonna eat you up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when you get out there and playing. And same thing with we going to play Villanova and Georgetown and Pittsburgh, and you looking like that, man, these motherfuckers eating you up, talking shit. Oh, you soft as fuck. They call all type of shit. They
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. 100%. 100%, because they talking shit and you doing good, they still talking shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it was. You know what I mean? But I feel you 100%. I think he really got into a funk early. I've never seen a slump last as long as his did. You know what I mean? I remember, I forget which game it was. You know, I thought he started the game off, got to the basket, got himself a layup, and I was like, okay, maybe he's broken out of it. But there was just never a time where he had one of those games where he went 4 for 6 from 3, and he was like, all right, fuck it, I'm back. This is what I needed for me to get back on the right track, come back the next game and play well and just start. He never had an opportunity to play well, so he could now start feeding off of that. His performances kept either going worse and worse or staying at the same. So it was like there was nothing to really go back and be like, yeah, I could build off of this. Because you weren't really doing much better game in, game out. So, like, what do you go back and do? Like, you could go to the gym and shoot. And this, obviously, if you could shoot the ball, I'm guaranteeing you he could shoot 100 threes and go 88 for 100, you know, on a great day. But then that's a whole different story than when you get into that game and now
the lights are
on and there's something different between that practice and working out and that game time shit. So there's nothing really for him to build off of that was positive. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure maybe you could, you know, when you're watching film with him or whatever, there's certain probably instances where shit you could have done, you did that well, but bro, he's an offensive threat, or he was supposed to be. So, but I just don't believe he ever had an opportunity to build off of anything from a previous game where he was like, fuck it, I could start doing this much better. You know what I mean? I saw him take a bunch of contested threes, some tough ones, you know what I mean, that he wasn't able to make. He wasn't really getting to the free throw line with his big frame. Like, so it was just tough for him. And I think he got into that, I'm saying dark space, but not dark in the sense of like, you know, dark space basketball wise. Like he just couldn't get out of whatever he was in. And I think it was like fucking trying to run through quicksand. And he just kept, the more you move, the more you sink. And it was kind of like, fuck it, I got to stay right here and stay afloat. And that's what happened. And then, like you mentioned, he did start. I can't remember how many minutes he averaged. I'd say probably somewhere around 15 to 17 minutes.
Nah, over that, bro. He averaged over 20 minutes.
Shit. Okay. I know towards the end, Quadir was kind of coming in there and eating those up, but probably overall, yeah, he's probably averaging 20 plus minutes. And, you know, I think that's what it was. And he probably at this point feels, and fuck, you know, the crowd done booed him. You know, that's tough too on a kid's mental. No, real shit. Like if I'm a player, bro, and I'm getting booed at the crib, I'm like, yo, these guys don't fuck with me. I can't come back here and play. But that's just, that's also another mental strain that.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be funny, but yeah, facts.
This is me just, that's another thing that could, if I'm already having
23
a tough
minutes,
time,
Joe. 23.2 minutes. 5 points, 4 rebounds, 30% from 3-point line. You know what I'm saying? Those aren't good numbers.
I think that's what it was. And I do, and I tweeted it out. I wish all them kids well in their next, at their next landing spot. Obviously, like, I have nothing but, don't know them personally, but nothing but love for anybody that comes through the program. And I want to see them do well at Cuse. But if it doesn't work out, and like you mentioned, all right, go ahead and transfer down, and you'll have a bigger impact. You might feel that confidence might come from you have a bigger role. You're more dependent on a nightly basis, whatever it may be that you need to get you to feel like you were in high school. Because I'm sure in high school, he was the man, like we speak about. You're the man, then you come into a program and you might not be the man immediately. You might be able to work your way up to that type of position. Or you might just be someone who's really solid and dependent on to whatever it may be, make shots or make plays, create. That's where he needs to be, in a situation where he could just feel like, you know what, like although I do feel like he was a key piece, had he been playing the way I thought he could, he would have been a key piece to this program. But if he goes somewhere, and bro, at the end of the day, his talent got him to Syracuse. So let's not forget, like, he's not just a shitty player, that was like, oh yeah, we're gonna take you because you're 6'5". Nah, dog. Like, he could play. That's what got him to Syracuse. You know what I'm saying? And I was hoping that at some point it clicked, like, yo, I'm here for a reason. I was recruited here because I'm nice. But it just never was able to get, like, maybe he was thinking it. And I'm sure you do that self-talk and you're like, yo, I deserve to be here. Like, I earned this shit. But I think it never was able to translate to when he got on the court.
And I'll tell you this, Joe, wherever he goes, you're not gonna be the man unless you go down, like, unless you go to like a lower level. Like, you're a guy who has to play a role. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got to be able to accept that about yourself as well, because bro, you're not a guy that's gonna go in and, like, you're gonna get the ball every single time. That's not you. Yeah. You can't do that. You're not a guy who can give him that. That's not what you do. You know what I'm saying? If you get it and you got an open straight line drive, wide open three, get it off the rebound, run the floor, that's your role. Like, do that. And I'm looking at the chat too, and I know, look, and I understand what the fans saying, like, because he was getting a lot of hate, you know what I'm saying, on Instagram. I guess they were saying, it's not funny, but, motherfuckers was reaching out like, man, whatever, like, the transfer, like, you're terrible, whatever. Man, listen, if you transferring because of that type of shit, no, I don't know what to tell you about in the real world, bro. I remember motherfuckers when, Facebook, when we played Villanova or Seton Hall, man, motherfuckers was sending me all type of crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? And I heard some shit from our fans too before. Not like, oh no, man, look, because I never had a problem. I made sure I did my thing out there. Did I have some bad games? For sure. Was there fans who said some disrespectful shit? Man, that's always going to be dickheads out there who saying shit like that. But if you let motherfuckers get under your skin like that, this ain't for you, bro. Mm-hmm. This not for you. This high level basketball, this isn't for you, bro. Because motherfuckers is always gonna have something to say, regardless if they're on your side, Syracuse fan, or if they're against you. They're always gonna have some shit to say. And you can't. That's another fucking. And I see y'all in the chat saying that's where he transferred. Man, that's a fucking lousy excuse. That ain't it. You gonna let other people decide what the fuck you do? Come on, man. Like, real shit. That's I don't even want to never hear that type of shit, bro. Because motherfuckers said all type of crazy shit to me. You know what I mean?
Shit.
Death threat, all type of shit. That ain't no excuse. And again, bro, like, when I'm speaking about this is strictly a hoop thing. Like, this is a basketball thing. I'm not talking about the kid as a human being. You know what I'm saying? Like, the kid is a good kid. Like, man, I bet the kid is he's a good kid. He's a good person. But I'm talking about strictly on some hoop shit. Man, this shit, look, we gonna keep it 100. Like, if you're not doing what the fuck you supposed to do, man, I'm not gonna lie for you. Like, what? This ain't for you right here. Syracuse. This ain't. Do you understand the tradition that Syracuse have? Obviously, the last 10 years, it hasn't been up to what It usually is. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't, and that's just the reality of it. But when you come in to Syracuse University and you put on that jersey, there's expectations for you, especially if you starting. So when you get out there and you ain't doing shit, what you expect? Motherfuckers is gonna be all on you, bro. And you go out into the community. Motherfucker might say some disrespectful shit. You gotta have, dog. When you playing high level sports, and this just doesn't go at Syracuse, bro. It's all the high major universities, and then when you go play professionally, you know what I'm saying? Now they really nitpicking you because, like you said, Joe, you getting $25 million a year. If you getting $25 million a year, averaging 7, you need to hear that shit because you stealing. 100%. You stealing money.
100%.
You know what I mean? So again, it's not like, look, I know people watch this or their parents might watch it or whatever. Don't take this shit out of context and try to and make it seem like we're saying these kids are bad kids. I'm giving you some basketball shit. You know what I mean? Because we've been through the shit. We've been in the fire. We did it at a high level. You know what I'm saying? We both had, I think, a lot of success.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So Joe, we can speak on that type shit.
Yeah, no question.
If we didn't do it, I wouldn't even be speaking on the shit.
You wouldn't be qualified.
I wouldn't be qualified, and I wouldn't. And again, for me, I couldn't even do that because I'm speaking on something that I haven't been through. All the shit that these young fellas going through, been through it times 10, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, came in as a McDonald's All-American, so like right away, like the expectations is there, dude. And for me, Joe, like when I played and when I read some shit, like, and they had these expectations for you, man, you got motherfucker always told me this, bro. Pressure is a privilege. If motherfuckers have expectations of you like that, man, you might be a special motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
You get what I'm saying, Joe? Like, pressure is a privilege. They not putting those expectations on no regular people. They don't got no they ain't even thinking about you.
Facts.
So like, you got to understand, when you walk into this type of shit, that's the type of shit you got to expect, man. Pressure is a privilege, bro. And with pressure comes responsibility. Your responsibility is to be in that motherfucker gym working, get in that film room, talking to your coaches, and not worry about what these motherfuckers saying about you, man. Because they always gonna have something to say if you doing good or if you doing bad. And motherfuckers talk because they got mouths. That's just the way it goes.
That's the realest shit. Pressure is a fucking privilege, bro.
Pressure is a fucking privilege. Pressure makes diamonds.
Yes, sir. And that comes from people, that come from your coaching staff. If a coach say, yo, I expect this of you, bro, all right, that must mean he sees something in me, for real. And now, Joe, it's your responsibility. It's your expectation. A lot of people take certain shit as like suggestions, like, oh, you should lift. Nah, bro, you should. It's not a suggestion. It's like, you should lift. Like, go lift. You know, you should get some extra shots up, or you need to be in the, it's not a suggestion at this level anymore to do these things. It's an expectation. You know what I mean? To get in there and get better. This is part of your full scholarship, student athlete contractual agreement. Yeah, you got to do the school thing. You got to go to class. You got to uphold or whatever it is, GPA. But on that athletic side, the athlete, there's expectations, 100%. You can't, like, again, you can't come in year in, year out. You got to get better at something. You better be a different player every year. You better reinvent yourself. You better, every year, like, if you stay 4, you got to be the complete player. Because I came in not being able to shoot. You should be leaving there a knockdown shooter. Oh, shit, I wasn't really woo. You should leave different than when you came in, 1,000%.
And I'll tell you what, I remember Coach Boeheim, he told me this one time. He said, son, if I'm not talking to you, then that's when you should fucking worry. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real shit.
I got that same shit.
If he not worried about you, he not even gonna be fucking with you.
Not at all. He's not. You're not in his plans at all. You know what I mean?
Pressure is a privilege, dog. Like young
No
fellas,
doubt.
man, don't run away from that shit. In life, Joe, don't run away from that shit. Like face that shit head on and grow from it, learn from it. Now, when you run into that situation the next time, you dealing with it even better.
You know what they say, you grow through what you grow through. You know what I'm saying? You grow through what you go through.
Say it one more
You
time. Say
feel
it one
me?
more time for him.
You grow through
Real shit.
what you go through. You feel me? That's what it is. We call that a gem. I just dropped one on y'all right there. You know what I'm saying?
Bang. You know what I mean? And real quick, Joe, I want to shout out my guy Matt Gavendo. Matt, we're doing a bracket challenge. So everybody in the chat, please go to his Instagram page, Vintage Syracuse Basketball. I think the link is in his bio. You could sign up for the bracket challenge. It's $10 to sign up. I think you get three brackets, if I'm not mistaken. Matt, you could write it in the chat. I think he already did. But all that money is going
All
back
the
to the
proceeds.
ED23
Yep.
Foundation. All the proceeds going back to the ED23 Foundation, and that's helping us, help these kids in the community of Syracuse. And again, that's what we're trying to do. So it's something fun. It's something that everybody, obviously is paying attention to right now with March Madness happening. So go sign up at Vintage Syracuse Basketball, his Instagram page. Enter the bracket challenge. It's $10. And you helping it. Those $10 are helping the foundation help us help the kids in the community. So shout out you, Matt, for bringing up that idea. It's super dope, man. We appreciate the help, and I know Matt's a big time follower, and he watches every single show. So nothing but love for you, Matt.
Maddie. Yes, sir.
Real quick, Joe. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Because I want to get into the other transfer. You know what I'm saying? But you go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, let's talk about that because I was going to get into the women's. I wanted to talk about the women's real quick because they're in the fucking tournament. They're in the tournament. Yeah. They're dancing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I want to get into QC. So same thing. You know what I'm saying? Coming off of the bench, obviously our team was he became very important as we kept losing soldiers. Guys went out. We got Big Fella went out. Hema was already out. Benny ended up leaving. You know what I'm saying? Which was I feel like a pivotal part of the season. Because he was beginning to play much better. Benny was like just being a little bit more. His activity was much better. I remember discussing his just activity level, and he was running out there catching oops, kind of like what we thought he should have been doing, just getting out in transition. Him, Judah, JJ, they throwing lobs, they having fun, and then QC's role, increased. He started playing much more. We were playing 6-7 guys between him and Cuff coming off the bench. We were playing 7 guys. Like we saw before, averaging a little less than 10, some rebounds, some assists. He had a good stretch where he really helped us either win games or stay in games. So him leaving came as a shock, just because I thought that he was playing well. Now there were certain instances where I think that he could keep it a little bit more simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was doing a little too much at certain times, and the high risk, high reward type of guys are not always easy to coach because when it looks good, it looks fantastic when it works. But then when it doesn't, you find yourself in like, what the fuck are you doing? Type. You find yourself asking like, what are you doing? Why wouldn't you just lay the ball up? Why do you have to cradle it and do all of the? You know what I'm saying? You want to do a 360. Like sometimes you just gotta keep it simple. Basketball is a simple game. You got a triple threat. You pass, shoot, dribble. 1 dribble pull-ups, 2 dribble pull-ups, get to the basket, hop, step. Like you don't have to. Everything doesn't have to be Jason Williams, white chocolate, elbow passes. Like it doesn't have to be that. He would great in All-Star games. He would be fucking fantastic. In an All-Star game, I could only imagine the shit that he would try to do and get away with. But basketball at this level has to be played at much more simple. You know what I mean? Like if you look at all the greats, it's just really get to it. 1, 2 dribble pull up. Like just be real simple with what you do. I've never, again, great showmanship. Like he had all the things necessary to be a good player. 6'6" or 6'7", really could play the 1 through 4. If you're playing small ball, you can put him at the 4, but at least the
Yeah,
first
no
1,
doubt.
2, and 3. You know what I mean? So, him transferring was a little bit shocking for me. And it led me to wonder at that particular time when the news came out, was that about he wants more opportunity? He sees more opportunity somewhere else where he could kind of be the player he wants to be. You know what I mean? But again, the high risk, high reward. I don't know a coach in the Power Fives that would allow a player to just play that brand of basketball. You know what I mean? So, what's your take on it?
Man, I'm 100% with you, bro. I was shocked. First of all, I heard it was mutual. I heard that there was a lot of shit going on, and they didn't even fuck with him like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I heard mutual. He was just a headache. You know what I'm saying? But again, like there's a lot of kids that are headaches. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to figure that out as a coaching staff. You got to be able to sit down and tell this motherfucker, look, man, like we need you. Like you gotta quit doing this dumb shit.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? The shit that ain't got nothing to do with basketball. So like you should have figured that out. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to figure
it out. Because at the next level where I'm sure he wants to go, that shit ain't working. That shit, they ain't not going for none of that.
They not going for none of that. And all that, this shit ain't working neither. I could do all that shit too,
Exactly.
but at the next level, that shit, can you do a fucking rip one, 2 dribble pull up? Nah, I ain't seen you do that shit. You can't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't doing that shit on a consistent basis. And that's 80% of the fucking shots in the league. Spot up or 1, 2 dribble pull up or all the way to the fucking hoop or transition. And you get, and if you're lucky enough to get to the league, you're not even fucking playing like that.
Mm-hmm. You're playing a specific role. Come in,
you're
defend,
playing a role.
Get up, look, go ahead, run the floor, space the floor. Like, you're not doing none of that.
Bro, I think he's a really good player. You know what I'm saying? I thought talented, skilled. He like a Swiss Army knife. He could do a little bit of everything. Really, pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Except shoot the ball. You know what I'm saying? But his form isn't bad. Like that's what I mean. Like he could have build on that. He could build on that. Like his shot, he could get better with his shot. And then at his height, with his skill, with his athleticism and his movement. Like he could be a really good player. He could put himself into a pro player. You know what I'm saying? Like, but again, decision making comes into play. You do a lot of goofy shit too that you don't need to do. Like you just make the bounce pass instead of the motherfucker round the head behind the back. Yeah, that shit looks sexy and all that. You turn that bitch over 3 times in a row against North Carolina State. You know what I'm saying? Or doing some dumb shit. You know what I mean? So like his decision making, improved jump shot. Like he could be a really good player. Like and even for like if Judah, because Judah's leaving, like he ain't gonna stay. Like that's just the reality of it. I thought he could have been taking over that one spot, like a Sean Livingston type motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like he could really handle the ball, get guys in their spots because he has the IQ to do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And when I said about the transferring piece, about look, if you have a really good season and you're able to go get NIL money, bigger money, I understand that. Or if you have like a really, a bad season or a season where you're not playing and you're not finding yourself in the rotation, yeah, transfer. But if you're having a season where you're solid and it's looking like you're building on some shit, like he had, I was speaking about him. Why would you transfer, bro? You know what I'm saying? Regardless if you got dog, you never gonna see 100% eye to eye with your coach, man. But the thing is, you're not the fucking coach. You know what I'm saying? So like, you're gonna be out of there before he is. Especially if you're not the man averaging 25. You average 9 points, bro. In 23, you average 9 points. 5. You had a good year. You had some great moments. You know what I'm saying? I loved his energy. I loved his passion. I love what he brought to the floor. But there was no reason for my man to transfer, bro. Or even put your name in the portal. I think you're making it harder on yourself. You making it harder on yourself, man. Like, where you gonna go? You go to Georgetown. Like I'm hearing Georgetown's offering dudes a package. Again, they got a meal for them. Georgetown's fucking terrible. They're not good either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like what is you doing? Like, and that's and my problem with that, again, if they giving you a bag like that, all right, yeah, you got to look at it. But man, you going from Syracuse to Georgetown, you ain't got no type of fucking respect.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no loyalty.
That's a fact.
Man, look, and real shit, Joe. Look, man. That goes to show what type of person you are, dog. For real, cause like if you my friend and some shit happened where like, oh, you meet a motherfucker who could do more for you than he could do for me, you're not gonna be my friend anymore or some shit. You know what I mean? Or you gonna treat him better than you treat me, even though I've been there. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
All the way supported you through the ups and downs. The minute you meet a motherfucker who be like, oh man, he don't even know this motherfucker. You gonna go rock with him more than me? I ain't fucking with that type of person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what type of dudes. That's what you making me feel. What type of person you are? You know what I mean?
No question. No question. And all that's happening. You know, Benny, obviously we knew he was going to enter the portal. These two that enter the portal, that's fine. But I do agree with the tweet that I saw the other day, which I reposted or whatever the case is that at the end of the day, like Boeheim recruited guys, his DNA. What was his DNA? Guys that could play the zone, some long wings that could run the lane, dunk the ball, athletic. That was his DNA. That's how he felt he could best win basketball games, is if I had a back line of 6'7", 6'9" to 7 feet in the middle, and another 6'6" to 6'8" guy on the other wing. Up top, we got some 6'3s to 6'5". If you think of Andy, Brandon Trish was 6'4". So that was his DNA. I'm building for the zone, like, because that's my staple. And then all the other shit, like everyone that went to Syracuse had an elite level of talent or a skill set that translated to that level. So it worked out perfect. If you think of all the teams before me, but just in my 4 years, that was exactly it. Length, athleticism, and guys that could just flat out, no play needed, just go ahead and create something. Boom. That was the DNA that we had. Red now has to get, Coach Autry has to now get his DNA really, like he was recruiting for Coach Boeheim, right? So he knew the DNA Coach Boeheim needed. Now it's a matter of he inherited this team at the same. He even though it is his guys that he recruited to a certain extent, he inherited this team. He now has to get, and he got fucking 20 wins on the season, bro. Let's not forget that 20 wins on the season.
Yeah,
one of the best Syracuse years. Hell of a job in his first year, but now he has to get his guys in. When coaches say, I got to get my guys in, I understand now what that means. Like, I got to get my guys in. It's the type of guys that I think I need and the way that I want to coach help me win basketball games. Those are the guys that he needs in. So again, I'm sure if it was mutual, that means that he didn't believe that QC was a guy of his DNA that he needs to win, like that he's going to be able to use to win basketball games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Like you got to get your guys in to where you feel comfortable in the system that you're trying to build. So, I mean, I agree with you 100%. Joe, we got probably 1 minute left. Before we get off, I do want to shout out Coach Jack, Coach Felicia Leggett Jack,
Oh man,
women's
amazing,
team.
amazing woman.
Amazing job. ACC Coach of the Year, got her team dancing. They're a 6 seed. They're waiting to play either, I want to say, Alabama or Arizona, 6 versus 11 seed. So whatever y'all doing, man, go support the women's basketball team because we all are Syracuse and we all want to support each other. So shout out to Coach Jack and the women's team.
Life.
Hopefully they can make a run, and go as deep as they can, man. So, y'all check them out, man. And again, we appreciate y'all. Yeah, I don't think y'all understand how much me and my guy Joe really appreciate y'all tuning in, just listen to us. We just really talking shit. Yeah, I mean, we you know what I'm saying? We really talking shit, so it's fun for us, but we appreciate y'all interacting with us and, being in the chat and really engaging with us. It means a lot to us, and we're orange through and through, man. So we're going to keep giving the real shit to you, and tune in next Wednesday, 10 to 11 a.m. I think next Wednesday is our last show, if I'm not mistaken, for the season, Joe.
Put up a petition, a chat petition. You want this throughout the summer. We need a petition going. You know what I'm saying? We could get some guests going, man. I don't want to be done till next season. That's way too long for me, man. But if it is what it is.
It is what it is. We'll be back regardless. You know what I mean? So, again, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Listen to us talk our shit. And until next Wednesday, y'all be safe out here, man. Hey.